Hi, I'm going to kind of quickly walk through how you could build a Pong game based on the sprite class that was developed earlier in some of the other videos. So this is more or less the sprite and target class that we were looking at earlier, or the ball class. Right now, it just if you press go, you'll see a ball appear, and it just kind of wraps around the screen. Okay, so you notice that I changed the title of the frame already to Pong. And let's see, what else did I do? Well, it's just creating one ball. I took out the name. I was assigning a name to each sprite, so I took that out because we're not going to need it for this application. So let me see what's the next thing that we would need to do. So if we look at the microworlds version of this game, the first thing we do in microworlds is create the ball, and so that's kind of the step one that we're kind of starting with here. So the second piece is to create a paddle. So let's take a look at what we need to do for that. Let's see. If we take the... Alright, so the first thing we need to do is, well, we need a paddle class. Now the paddle is going to be a rectangle. So I'm going to define that with a width and a height. So I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to kind of just cut and paste some code from other versions here. So I have I'm going to need a paddle width and height. Stick that in there. What else? I need a paddle class, right? So I'm going to create paddles. My sprite, my ball. Here's my paddle class. So I'm going to stick in my paddle class, and most of the methods in this class are just for setting up the corners, the vertices of the paddle. Because remember, to draw a rectangle, we basically have to do a draw polygon. So we have to have this point list, right? So to set up a paddle, we set it up with a given width and height, and then we can just calculate. All these things are just to calculate based on the x and the y. If the x and the y are the center of the rectangle, then we can calculate the left, right, top, and bottom pretty easily. And then I just made methods to give us the corners, the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And so then our point list to draw our polygon is we just append those four corners to the list vertices, return that list, and that gives us our 4 points. I added something. I added a method in here to check to see if we're still on the canvas, because when I'm moving my paddle, I don't want to be able to move it off the screen. So this just checks the top and bottom of the screen. And I decided with Code Sculptor, with Simple GUI, it would be would make more sense to use the keyboard to control the paddle rather than mouse. So let's see, how will I drawing stuff in there? We're going to need to, so I'll get to that in a second, but let me just stick in, because we're going to need, so I don't forget, we're going to need to update the paddle as well as the ball, right? So we'll need a paddle update in here. And what else? Let's see. Oh, we're going to need to draw the paddle on the canvas. So we'll say paddle draw on the canvas. Yeah, and then we'll stick in our key handlers for the paddle. So that's going to be, let's see, our key down and key up handlers need to go in there. Stick that in after the draw handler. And what else? Okay, then I'll just add in, just like I made a new ball function, I'll make a new paddle function for creating my paddle. And then make sure I create my paddle. And what else here? Oh yeah, then I have to register my key handlers. Alright, so let's see what that does. So now when we press go, now we have a paddle. It doesn't do anything to the ball. The ball goes right through it. But you can, I'm moving it with the up and down arrow keys. So that's kind of the next step. Here, so that was step 2. So I'll this video's, I don't want this videos to get too long, so I'm gonna cut this video here, and then we'll go on to step 3 in the next one.